Alright, good morning everybody. Today we're talking about Crimebrands. Now to start off, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Crimebrands are a feature that you unlock when you get a center to phase 2, like level 41, okay? So if you're not that far yet, that's why you don't see them. But Crimebrands are our version of items in Path of Nowhere, where you have a whole plethora of items that you can equip onto your centers. Now, my veterans know how to sort through these Crimebrands and know which ones are best on which characters, but it's kind of difficult for new players to follow along. Before I go too far, I do want to mention that when we're talking about Crimebrands, we're specifically talking about these 1, 2, 3 slots. We are not talking about this word right here, exclusive. There's also an exclusive Crimebrand, and every character will have their own exclusive Crimebrand. It functions nothing like the other Crimebrands. I have no idea why they decided to make exclusive Crimebrands and Crimebrands both be Crimebrands. Okay, the exclusive Crimebrand is fundamentally different than everything else. Don't ask me why they share the same name, right? Like every single character has their own exclusive Crimebrand, right? We've got Bai over here, she has her own. Summer has her own. Everybody has their own. And the exclusive Crimebrand, like some people really enjoy a high level exclusive Crimebrand, others don't really care. Let me go to, I think Ying Ying's the best example. Ying Ying really likes having her third Crimebrand because it lets her break 3 cores, whereas her first Crimebrand only lets her break 1 core. So she really wants a rank 3 exclusive Crimebrand. But a lot of characters, in fact, I would even venture to say most characters, are fine only having that first rank of their exclusive Crimebrand. Okay, so this is when people start talking about ECBs. It's a very popular term in Path of Nowhere. ECB refers to exclusive Crimebrand, and it's usually followed by a number, either 1, 2, or 3. That's what they're referring to. They're referring to exclusive Crimebrand, rank 1, rank 2, or rank 3. Okay, so if you see the words or the letters ECB out there, this is what they're referring to. But today's video is going to function on the Crimebrands themselves. Now, I'm going to start off by showing you what you should not do, okay? When we're talking about these Crimebrands, they come in sets, okay? So you see here Reunion Day has Reunion Day 1, 2, and 3. If you want to use Reunion Day, if you want to have this effect, you need all 3 pieces of Reunion Day. I'm going to need to put it in slot 1, I'll need to put it in slot 2, then I'll need to put it in slot 3. And now it says activated. Okay, that's really important. If I remove this 3rd piece, it's inactive. You are not getting this benefit. I equip that 3rd piece, it's active. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on one of my presets real quick. So let's go ahead and remove all. I'm going to go to my preset. I'm just going to put on the first one just for example's sake. Okay, I'm not running a 3 piece, so I don't have anything active, right? No. So if we look at Fury, Fury is a set of 1. You only need Fury 1 to get the activated effect of this set. For Immolation Ignition, it's only Immolation Ignition 2. You only need this 1 Crimebrand to get the effect of the full set. Same thing with Primordial Maw. It's only a set of 1. You only need that 1 to get the full effects of the set. There are also Crimebrands that are sets of 2. Let me go ahead and look for one that's a set of 2, like Heartache. Again, I'm not recommending you put Heartache on Rahu, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to explain the mechanics of Crimebrands. Heartache, you need Heartache 1 and Heartache 2. And if you have both of those, the effect becomes active. If I remove one of these, all of a sudden, it's inactive. But I put that first piece back on, and wouldn't you know it, I have 2 Crimebrands on, and they complete the activated set. So in your 3rd set, you should run a Crimebrand that only requires 1 slot, so that you can have 2 Crimebrand sets active. So some sets you can only have 1 activated set. Some sets you can mix and match and have 2 activated sets. And other Crimebrands allow you to be really flexible and have 3 separate fully functional sets by themselves. Okay, let me show you what not to do. And this is going to be funny for some of my veterans around here, okay? Each one of those sets that you see on screen is a set of 3. This player was unfortunately mistaken, and they thought that they got the full effects of that set of Crimebrand as long as they only had one of the 3 active. So they're just like, okay, I'm going to have the benefits of all 3 sets. Wrong. Each of those Crimebrand sets require multiple pieces, not just the splash of one. This is another example. Each one of those requires multiple pieces. We just looked at Reunion Day earlier in this video. You needed all 3 pieces. This person unfortunately did not get the message that they need a full set to get the benefits. They think they're getting the benefit from all 3. And then if we go to this next one, they actually did this correctly. That is a set of 2 and a set of 1. That actually functions correctly as a Crimebrand. The unfortunate part here is that it's not a very good option. Those Crimebrands aren't doing much for 0, and you can change those Crimebrands to get a lot more effectiveness out of your level 90 center. Okay, this next one. Okay, so again, they did it correctly. That is a full set. It is a full Crimebrand set, and you do have an activated Crimebrand set if you run that. Unfortunately, that Crimebrand set increases your crit damage, and Jasmine cannot crit. She does not crit, and she will not crit. So that set, even though it's a full effective set, doesn't do anything for your character because different Crimebrands do different things. And if Jasmine was a crit-based damage dealer, then maybe it would help. But Jasmine's not crit-based, so it's not going to do anything at all. And then we get to this last one. Okay, this last one cracks me up. They accidentally fumbled on the left side. They have the full set of 1 on the left. They have the full set of 1 on the right. And they threw in a set 1 of 2 in the middle and butchered their yin yang. This poor soul. And then on their Bianca, that's actually one of the sets that I showed you earlier in this video. That is like one of the best sets in the game. It's called Heartache. I recommend Heartache to everybody. But Heartache is only good if you're able to break cores. And Bianca cannot break any cores. So again, we're left at the spot where the Crimebrands, while good, don't do anything because it's on the wrong center. Okay, so not only do you need to know how Crimebrands work, but you also need to know which centers should run what. And that's kind of what we're going to discuss here in this video today. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run through all of my Crimebrand presets. You're only allowed 40 presets, and I've got 38 of those 40 filled. And honestly, I could use like 50 or 60 presets because there's a lot of options that you can do here with Crimebrands. You don't need every single set out there, and some of these are a little hard to get your hands on. Most Crimebrands are coming from events, like Tide of Ashes or the Phantasms. These reoccurring events that we get, these are where most of the Crimebrands are coming from, and then you also have like Story Memories where a few of them come from, but most of them are coming from events. So if you see something that you like but don't have, it's probably going to get a rerun in the future. Just a heads up on that front. But starting off, I do have my Crimebrands ordered in a sort of general function. So at the top here, I have support sets for supports that do not have energy cost. And I denote that with Yugo, because Yugo is a support who does not have an energy cost. Okay, so I would put this set on like Singlinde, on Yugo, somebody who doesn't care about their SP, maybe like Lady Pearl. I'd put this on Lady Pearl. And this is just a really good 2-piece set. The Immolation Ignition gives you some energy that you can play with. And Primordial Maw gives you chief energy to play with, like more empowers if you defeat an enemy without breaking their cores. So if you're like overkilling elites, then Primordial Maw is a really good way to still get the energy from that elite, even though you didn't core break them. Okay, so like really good quick start, and then like an insurance plan in case you overkill elites. And this third one, Fury, it's just there to heal you. There's not that many great slot 1 options, so I just put Fury in there. This can change very easily, but Fury's good, generally. And then I have a very similar Crimebrands set right underneath that with Yugo Support. Again, you can put this on Yugo, you can put this on others. The reason why this one's called Yugo Support is it's the same thing, except that slot 2 is changed out to reduce magic resistance. So I would run Yugo Support on my Yugo if I'm putting Yugo on a magic team. If I'm not putting Yugo on a magic team, then I'll be running this. That way I'm not wasting my slot 2. Okay? And then my next set of Crimebrands is all about energy. These are probably the most important sets. You can see I have Energy 2, Energy 3, Energy 4, Energy 5, and Energy 6. You're going to be using this set a lot. This is called by the community THC, Tuning, Hope, and Corridor, because it's T, it's H, and it's a C. Okay, I don't make the names. That's just what it is. And this is the classic set to give you energy. Okay, so you get 3 energy, you get 5 energy, you get 8 energy. This is the most popular Crimebrand set because it gives you a ton of energy at the start of a battle, and it allows your supports to come online much sooner. You can see I put mine on Millie, I put mine on Infer, I put mine on LL, I put mine on Cabernet. All of these supports that want to cast their ults as soon as possible can with THC. And then I also have the variant of Ignition, which is the same thing as THC, except I run Ignition in the center slot so they can give energy to other people's instead of strictly themselves, okay? So slight variation. But this is what I recommend on most characters, this THC. If you have a bunch of corridors to spare, I would make a few different THC options. It's very popular. And then we have some other generalist sets that work very well. Heartache is probably the best Crimebrand set in the entire game. When you break the last core, when you core break, that's specifically the last core, when you break the final core of an elite or boss, that enemy takes 20% more damage for 15 seconds. It is a huge boost to your damage to put on your no damage like Labyrinth, right? Labyrinth is doing next to no damage, but she's breaking that final core, and therefore everybody else does 20% more damage. It's a real nice Crimebrand to put onto your whoever core breaker and support the team that way. And the third slot, usually Corridor Echo, again, just because energy income is just a really nice, easy one slot to put at the end of Heartache. So this is probably the strongest Crimebrand set in the game. Next up, Bell Tower. Bell Tower is very popular. This is just like a speed running Crimebrand, and it's also very general. Anybody who does damage can use this. Notice how it says damage to elites and bosses increased by 50%. It doesn't say attack. It doesn't say like physical damage. It doesn't say magical damage. It doesn't say HP. It just says damage. And because it just says damage, anybody can use this set as long as the fight is being ended in or close to 30 seconds. Okay, that's why this Crimebrand set's so good. You can put on true damage characters, you can put on physical damage characters, you can put on magic damage characters. It doesn't matter. As long as you're putting it on people, it's going to work. Next up, Embrace. Embrace is sort of the beginner's friend. Embrace is very easy to get out of one of the exchange shops. I think it's called a gameplay shop nowadays. But it's very easy to pick up a full set of Embrace, and it functions very similarly to Bell Tower. Increases your damage against enemies by 40%, but it only works against enemies with broken cores. So it's a little bit of it's a little slower than Bell Tower, but it's just as good if you get the right setup. Again, the reason why this set is so good is not because it's better than the other sets, but because it's so general and can be thrown on pretty much anybody. Anybody who wants to do damage is going to be able to make use of Embrace the Dead. Okay, next up, following this idea of like this damage category here that I have set up, Illusory Ache. This goes on your Umbra core team. It increases your damage if you break cores, and specifically works with Umbras to stack further. So put it on 0, put it on Baiyi. They're going to have a great time with Illusory Ache just going crazy. Next up, I put this here. This is a very specific Crimebrand that reads really lengthy, but basically Angel and Baiyi can use this Crimebrand set to do a lot of damage. I put it here because it's very similar to the Umbra core set, so I put them next to each other. But very specifically, Angel or Baiyi, mainly because they're meeting the energy cost requirement to double the effect. All right, I wouldn't recommend this on that many people. Next up, this is a very popular set, another generalist set that can be used on anybody, Inversion Slash. This one's very popular because, again, more energy income. Basically, every 5 seconds, you get a second attack that gives you 3 energy. Like, why wouldn't you want more energy, right? This can be used on anybody as long as they don't need to use like a 50% damage boost, right? You're getting a lot more damage out of Bell Tower than you are Inversion Slash. Even though Inversion Slash is giving you another attack, it doesn't compete with Bell Tower, which gives you 50% more damage. So Inversion Slash is mostly an energy income tool, and I combo that with Dream Flower because Dream Flower also gives a lot of energy very quickly. You can replace Dream Flower with Tuning the THC, the T part in THC. You can replace, they're interchangeable, they're the same thing, but I put Dream Flower here because why not? This is a set that I have been using more and more often. Paradise Regained is a very good set that helps you break cores. In fact, when the game first came out and core breakers were kind of rare, we were using Che and Labyrinth for like most content, even in Dark Zone, like Che and Labyrinth were like the go-to picks. This was seeing a lot of play because it lets you break more cores. And it's still seeing play today. You just have, it gives you more options to break cores. If your SP is down, if the boss has like 8 cores or something else happens, Paradise Regained is a nice way to keep up in the core breaking battle. But the other thing that I like about this set is that it's missing that slot 1, which lets you run depth of restricted access, or area. And it makes you immune to normal attack damage for 20 seconds. That doesn't sound like much, but if you're going into BFL or something like that, where the boss is like instantly defeating your centers, you can put on depth of restricted access on like your Augustus or something, and your Augustus will survive for 20 seconds. And that's more than enough for you to like make it through the entirety of a BFL stage, right? So this is actually really good against some bosses in particular, specific stages, so that you are practically immune for the entire duration of the fight. Very, very good set. Next up is Afterglow. I like this set on supports that may not care about their energy. You can run this on your energy reliant supports. Like you can put this on a Parfait and just like double down on the attack boost that you're getting. But I prefer this on energy-less supports just because energy-based supports want THC. And Afterglow is just an easy way to get an attack boost. It's not a very strong attack boost, but it's an attack boost that can like push you over the edge. And pair it with any slot 3. You can pair it with Corridor Echo, you can pair it with Primordial Maw, whatever works in that slot 3. But Afterglow is just a good set for your support to run if you need that little bit of extra push over the edge. Shackles I have here in this like support section of my Crimebrand list because Shackles of Life increases crit damage, which Jelena uses to increase crit damage that she hands out to her allies. This is pretty much only seen use on Jelena unless you are missing some core Crimebrand sets, in which case other people might be able to use it, but Jelena almost always. And then we start getting into some much less seen Crimebrands. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly go over this real quick. Azura increases your magic damage while you have a shield. Behind the Mask increases your physical penetration for a few seconds after you cast an ultimate. Really good if you're spamming your ultimate or have a low attack stat. Rising Wind is a really bad set that I would not recommend, but if you are going to use it, put it on a reticle who attacks multiple targets, like Lady Pearl. Maw Rift, I'm not going to talk about that at all because I'm just going to talk about this one instead. This is Soul Rift and Eroded Sand. These two both reduce the enemy's armor. So you put it on somebody you don't care about, like Pepper or maybe like a Rahu, and you just let them shred the boss's defense. Very straightforward. Judgment, this is actually one of the strongest Crimebrand sets in the entire game, but it's very specific in what content it wants to be used. If the number of enemies does not exceed 3, increase crit damage by 70%. That's a huge bonus. And if it does not exceed 1, the buff is doubled to 140% damage. This is 140% damage on a Crimebrand set, but it only matters if there's one person on the field. So this is like a Tide of Ashes set, or like a ROTD set, right? Like only if there's one boss target and nothing else can you use this set. But if you do use this set and there is only one target, it's the best set in the game. Illusory, Moon, and Pioneer come together to create a very easy way to increase your skill damage. Most people who are doing skill damage don't care about their normal attack. I'm thinking like Blue off the top of my head. She literally can't do normal attack damage, so it's a very straightforward set. Speaking of Blue, Against the Light increases your attack speed and magic damage when you crit, and I think the only person who can make use of that is Blue. So this is like a very Blue specific set, and it also has Blue in the picture, so like it's kind of self-explanatory. You should use it with Blue. I have this set up, Nightmare Revelation. I have two different forms of Nightmare Revelation, one for Dove or Yugo, where they use Oasis to shred magic resist, and one with Immolation Ignition to gain more energy. This is just like another energyless support option. Like, what else am I going to put on this energyless support? And your options are low. Nightmare Revelation is a decent option. It's not a great option, but it exists, so it's there. I've got one set specific to Hypatia and 11, and it just increases the damage of magical summoned creatures. Very straightforward, very solid set. I have this set that I called 11, but it actually sees more play on Summer nowadays. Servant allows your summons to give you energy. So Summer and 11 are both using summons to gain more energy. And then City of Sins is an easy way to increase your attack if you are running Crimebrands that can make use of it. And Creation increases your summon damage. So, 11 and Summer. This is a support set that you can put on anybody on a summon-based team. This is another support set that you can put anybody on a summon-based team. This is a crit maxing set that maxes out your crit chance and gives you City of Sins for more damage. You get 12% crit from Overthrown Tower, and if you're fighting a boss, you get another 12% crit. So this Crimebrand set gives 24% crit and also gives 20% crit damage. So it's actually a pretty good set if you need to increase your crit chance by a bit, right? 24%, not bad. This one's very specific to Ying Ying. Tethered Soul specifically does stuff on the Arcane Crit team. So, goes on Ying Ying because she's mandatory on the Arcane Crit team. And Path of Doom is just an easy slot one, right? You can change that with any slot one, but Path of Doom is just an easy slot one. Void Tempest is another one of those that is in contention for the best Crimebrand in the game, but it only works on like 3 centers. It works on Pylgia, Drea, and Mantis. If you're running one of those 3, put Tempestus Void on them and don't even think twice. Drea, Pylgia, or Mantis. But anybody else, they literally can't use this set. So it's only for those 3 characters. I've recently made this set for Rahu, anticipating the Reforged Rahu coming out soon. This uses Path of Doom, which Rahu will use to do more skill damage while she clears waves. City of Sins for an easy way to increase both her HP and her attack. And Spawn, which increases her HP and helps her recover HP. You can replace Spawn with Corridor Echo. Spawn's not that great. It kind of offsets Rahu's health drain, but it's still not the best thing in the world. And the Corridor Echo is going to give Rahu more attack speed, so that's a nice little benefit. It's good either way. This is the new True Damage set. Put it on anybody who does True Damage, or somebody with low attack. If you want to like makeshift that, you can makeshift a small boost to their attack if your center has low attack. You can put this on like a Zephyr or somebody else like that who just has low base stats. This is another core break set, but this one in Heartache set. But instead of running Corridor Echo, it runs Primordial Maw because Seto is an upcoming center who does not use SP and therefore does not use Corridor Echo, so I'm going to give her Primordial Maw instead. And this one I put on my Singlinde because it's an easy set to put on Singlinde. Path of Doom increases her skill damage, Immolation Ignition allows her to give energy to her teammates, and Heavy Contamination is an easy way to increase Singlinde's damage. Those are the presets that I have. And again, I only showed you 38 presets. Realistically, I could use up to like 60, 70 presets because there are just so many options that have released over the years. And like so many that I have not shown in this video. Mostly because a lot of these are really bad. Like Voidborn, it's a 3-part set and all units take 10% less damage and receive 10% less healing. And like, who cares? Who cares if they take 10% less damage and 10% less healing? There's just better options. And then we got stuff like Skyfall. After 10 seconds of entering the battle, your center dies. If you want to defeat your own sinners, sure, put Skyfall on them. You put this on Rahu and Rahu's going to die. Sure. Sure. It's an option. Like Prisoner of the Deep, it gives you a lot of boost to your attacks or to your stats, but you can't cast an ultimate. Like there are some really bad Crimebrand sets out here that you really shouldn't be using. But also in here, there's really good sets that I didn't really show off, like Bloodbound Oath. Bloodbound Oath you can put on your Hamel or your Shin or anybody else who heals, and it's a very easy way to increase your healing. And that's a good set. There's other good ones. Ooh, people are going to yell at me if I don't mention Rift Palace. Decreases a boss's damage by 12%. Very good, very strong Crimebrands set. And nice thing about this is that it's a one-piece set, so I can combine this with other stuff. Like I can have Heartache plus Rift Palace, and that's a very good Crimebrands set. And there's just so many good Crimebrands that have released over the years that it's almost impossible for me to talk about all of them. But the ones that I've shown in my presets are the ones that I use on the regular. And there's a few of these that I go into and hand fish out whenever I need to, specifically like Bloodbound Oath or other like common 3-piece sets. But hopefully you guys have gotten some insight as to how I sort of organize my Crimebrands. I've got these support sets at the top. I've got these SP support income sets right after that. I've got Heartache, which kind of goes in that same theme as the fast energy, but this is just fast damage. I've got generalist damage here in the middle. Then I've got some more support options. We're going back to some more generalist damage options, more support options, more generalist damage, more general support. And at the end, I have these very center-specific sets. Like Void Tempest is only used on very specific centers. I'm only going to use this set on Rahu. I'm pretty much only going to use this on Augustus. I'm only going to use this on Seto. I'm only going to use this on Singlente. Like if a center has a very specific Crimebrands set, I will include that and place it near the bottom. But for the most part, I have it separated in this idea of energyless support, energy support, and then general damage and general support sets with very specific Crimebrands sets down at the bottom. So hopefully that you guys have some insight, some idea, a better understanding of Crimebrands after watching this video, especially if you're not a veteran. My veterans, y'all are just sitting here to listen to me yap for 30 minutes, and I appreciate y'all sticking around for this long. Speaking of y'all sticking around for this long, if you've made it this far, I'd appreciate if you guys left a like, subscribed, all of that nonsense. I do a lot of stuff here on the channel. I make guides for all of the new characters. I have tier lists videos that are like 3 hours long for all the old characters. I have debut videos showing off what all of the new characters can do. I do a lot of news posts about what's coming up to Path of Nowhere and what has been released and what will be released and all of this other stuff. Bunch of teasers. So click around on the channel, find out what you like. If you're here for news, go read the news sections. If you're here for tier list and guides, go check out the tier list and guides. If you're here to see what centers can do at level 70, then I show a lot of content showcasing the absolute limits of what these level 70 centers can do. And I'd appreciate that if you guys took the time to like, to subscribe, to peruse my channel, and maybe even join the channel as a Shalom lover or Shalom hater. It's a way to support me. If you guys have already subscribed, that subscribe button now turns into a join button, and you can join the channel and support me in a very small but very, very welcomed way. I appreciate all of my members. Y'all are the reason I'm able to make as many videos as I do, as often as I do. And it really does help the channel if you're a Shalom lover or a Shalom hater. By the way, there is a correct option. I'm just not going to tell you which one it is, but I will silently judge you. No, I won't judge you. I'm messing around. But hey, guys, thanks for listening to me yap this long. I appreciate y'all. We'll be coming back on Tuesday with Seto news. Actually, probably more like Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the first Seto video, because I need time to make the video and she releases Tuesday night, so we'll see. Short live stream on Tuesday. If you guys want to stick around for that, it's going to be a 30-minute long live stream. I have a really busy Tuesday, so I'm going to hop in, do the Seto pools, and then I'm going to hop out. It's going to be 30 minutes. I've got a strict schedule that day, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm most looking forward to the upcoming set of Reforges. And you would know what those upcoming set of Reforges is if you clicked on my news post, what we know about Path Nowhere's future Reforges. Okay, either way, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.